to all my Libras out there. Please make sure to get the book on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. So let's go ahead. Oh yeah, if you'd like to contact me for personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below. So let's get started with your reading. I am going to be using the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Okay, you have Ogun, you have Nanan Boklau, Olofi, Aizan, Santerio, right, Santero, I should say, Magic Mirror, Courier, Le Mardi Gras, very interesting, Possession, World Egg, Simbi de Lao, Leao, Simbi La Flambeau, Razuli La Flambeau, La Place, Les Barons, and Obatala. Wow, a lot of major arcana, wild card, because this deck is unique. So what I'm seeing here for the Libras, this is for Libras, okay, and for cross watchers, right? You're welcome aboard. For Libras, what it is that I'm seeing here for a lot of you is, number one, I'm seeing that you Libras are, this is, okay, you Libras are, see, there's so much to talk about. These two cards, you Libras are getting to know people. You Libras are dating other people, okay? You Libras are dating. And the kind of people whom you're dating, you want people who are like this with you and like this. People who you can walk with shoulder to shoulder. People who you can exchange conversations, goods, and services with. Fair trade with. Olofi, if you can find that particular person, a lot of you Libras are thinking to yourselves, if I can find that particular person, this person will essentially have the world. Look at this card. There's a lot to talk about. Aizan, Santero, right, is the communion or the connection that it is that you seek. You want yourself you want things to work out with one particular person, not necessarily anyone specific. That's the reason why it is that you're doing a lot of serial dating. So some of you Libras may even be asking some of your own family members or your friends, because we know Libras have huge social circles, or they have a pretty good sized social circles, considering that they're air signs, okay? And what happens is you have it right here, which is Santero. Now, Santero is a situation where Santero represents how you're ready and willing to be able to nurture a relationship where you and the other person can actually be truthful and straightforward and forthcoming with each other. The magic mirror represents, though, that you don't necessarily want this person to just particularly mirror you, and because that's one thing that a lot of people do when they get themselves in relationships, because most people, wink, wink, hint, hint, don't seem to necessarily understand that they shouldn't really be in a relationship with a particular person that they're in a relationship with, because the person is lying. You ever been in one of those situations, my Libras, where you ask the person, what is it that you think about a particular situation first, and then the person gives you their thoughts about something, and then you give your thoughts about something, whether or not they ask you, right? You're either, they ask you and you give it, or you want to contribute and you give it, and then it doesn't necessarily coincide or agree with theirs, and then they completely switch and change their whole direction on something, and now they want to agree with what it is that you're on. It's manipulation. It's manipulation. That person is not showing you the real them, and that's part of the problem. And so many people don't pay attention to this. You don't pay attention to this person just said one thing, and then when you don't necessarily agree eye to eye with them, and you don't necessarily have to agree on everything, this person has to change their tone, change what it is that they agree on and agree with you, even though they just said they didn't necessarily like this, or they do like this. You don't want that mirroring. You want a real connection. The Courier La Mardi Gras represents how you're going to find a lot of people like that. That's the reason why it is that you need to keep dating. The Possession, the World Egg, and the Simbi de Lao represents how you have to be very wise, my Libras. Sometimes, and to be truthful with you, Libras, because that's why it is that you're here. You Libras can be a little bit ditzy in the sense that y'all can be tricked due to the clumsiness that y'all have. And what I mean when I say clumsy, y'all can end up not paying attention to certain things, trying to be sociable. You can someone can present something to you, and you don't necessarily catch on to the writing on the wall, the trajectory of what things are going to be like between you and them. And because of that, a lot of you Libras can end up finding yourself in situations. It's hot over here. A lot of you Libras can find yourself in situations where things you meet people, or you interact with people who are showing you signs that they were not necessarily a good match for you, because the two of you didn't really have core values that you had in common from the very beginning. Now the bottom row, right, less barons, is not necessarily any particular card. It's more so a wild card, so it can represent any of the major arcana. But the bottom line, or the bottom row, represents how it is that keep your options open when it comes to interacting or dating, especially in the modern context of today, right? Because you have a lot of people who are capping, faking, lying, trickery, because they want to be liked. So let's clarify Batala. You have Lovers, Hierophant, Eight of Swords. So this represents how a lot of you Libras need to interact with people whom, again, this is lovers, right? Hierophant. The people who you're going to be able to get yourselves in relationships with are people who you have core values with, my Libras. Pay attention to the people whom you're interacting with, and pay attention to their character and their values, and make sure their values are similar to yours, meaning the two of you have coinciding values. Not everything has to agree with one another. As a matter of fact, everything shouldn't line up. If everything lines up between yourself and this particular person, this person is lying to you, and they're dangerous. So the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords represents how you'll be able to weed out the people who are lying faster if you do that. Let's clarify possession. Let's clarify the possession card. Clarify the possession card. You have Knight of Wands, the Hermit, Ace of Wands. A person who is going to be trustworthy, that you can build with, is a person who is straightforward about this relationship. They have wisdom and they use it, and they have skills and they take risks that are necessary. So if you'd like for me to elaborate on that, you can always hit me up for a personal reading. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace.